Welcome to the road to Bustleton Ironman. I am Beau Jones, founder of Bottle.It, and this vlog is a concept that I hope you guys can join in with me along the process as I go from long COVID absolutely flattening me for the last 3 months to hopefully the finish line at Bustleton Ironman in 3 months' time, just over 3 months' time. Now, we're used to seeing the finish line photos or the before-after photos and basically celebrating in somebody's achievements, but very rarely do we actually get to join somebody from the first step or day one of a process. And this is pretty much, I'm not going to say rock bottom, but this is pretty much a low point. There's long COVID has brought with it a series of challenges and stuff that I haven't faced before, but thankfully, because of Bottle.It and the people around me, I've been able to gather tools from the last 6-7 years that have helped me actually get through the process of dealing with long COVID and stay in somewhat of a positive mental health space. I know my wife will say that at times that there's been a lot of negative, but I've tried my best to maintain some kind of a positive outlook on the situation, which given that we use movement for a lot of our positive health, the minute you take movement away from somebody, it has been difficult not to be able to go for a run and process the negative things that happen in my life. 2 weeks before Cairns half Ironman, which was going to be the start of the momentum roll into Bustleton Ironman, unfortunately my mother passed away, and that's around the same time too that the long COVID symptoms started. And obviously they're two very different areas of grief and sickness and in no way related, but it wasn't much of a fun time. I actually did Cairns half Ironman as a way to process some of the grief I was dealing with losing my mum, and unfortunately the long COVID symptoms throughout the bike leg and the run leg meant that I didn't get the same enjoyment out of a finish line that I usually get and I usually feel. So I come away from that event very, very frustrated, and it was a shame. The support was so great up there on course and even afterwards, and every time I went to kind of be negative about my performance or my result, a lot of people were quick to remind me that it's okay, and they're very reassuring. But the frustration of knowing that I could have done better, I trained better, I had 2 months of preparation, and I went alcohol free for the first time in my life, which was something that really scared me, but also really changed me. I lost 10 kilos in 2 months, and my mindset completely changed. So we'll touch on that a little bit, maybe in a later episode, in the effects of alcohol and removing it from training in your life can have on your mental health, because I was a big fan of that. Won't get too preachy about it, because there's nothing worse when I was on the tins having someone tell you to get off the tins, but I will dive into that later, because the effects were unlike anything else I've ever experienced. So what I learned in the 2 months about training and about using other people's intels and insights has hopefully set me up now for a good Bustleton preparation. So basically the long COVID, to give the long of the short of it, the last 2 months, close to 3 months, has resulted in COVID symptoms every morning, every day. Wake up super phlegmy, you can probably hear it now, in like the congestion in the nose, breathing, laboured breathing. I can't walk upstairs at the moment without being out of breath. Irregular heart rate too, like when my heart rate does go up, it tends to stay up for a long time. So I've had to kind of dial everything back, and the advice has been not to train, or to train in moderation. And I originally went out and I couldn't handle staying still any longer, so I started running every day, like 3Ks every day, and found that was even put too much strain on my heart. As good as it was for the head, it wasn't helping my body. It was actually hurting my body. My joints were hurt, was sore, everything was building up. So where we are right now, I am 122 kilos. I've already lost 2 kilos in the last week. I've started to move. I'm starting to feel better. I originally wanted to start this last week, or 2 weeks ago. I put the post up on social media, and I got some great feedback, and it was overwhelming, the feedback of people that were like, yeah, I subscribed, or yes, I want to see what's going on. I actually wasn't in the right headspace to do it. I tried doing it last week, and I hit record, and I wasn't feeling positive enough about my own health to be able to promote some goodness. So I just spaced it and just said, I'll push it back a week and see what happens. This week I've had 2 great training sessions, and the body's feeling better. I'm actually starting to get some energy back. So I'm on a roll at the moment, and kind of as a weird promise to you guys, I promise that next week or the week after, if there is a negative week where I do take a step back, I'm going to commit to hitting record and sharing that. I know that this video is a form of keeping myself accountable, and I want to be able to share the highs and the lows. So moving forward, I will be sharing the lows. But yeah, 2 good sessions. I do a half-hour run on Tuesday, and then did a 50-minute ride this morning. Same thing, just super easy, just keep the legs turning over. And I've made some changes away. I haven't fully committed to alcohol free again. I haven't fully given up the sugar and the processed foods like I'd like to. I'm gradually easing back into it. I think that cold turkey's a great thing to do, and full credit to anybody else that can go cold turkey. But I've found I've lost weight before. I've gone from 135 kilos down to 105 kilos, then back up to 125. And my yo-yoing as a weight is a direct result of my lifestyle, and there's no excuses for that. I've tried in the past to make excuses like, oh, I train enough so I can eat rubbish food. And the longer the short of it is, now that I'm 37, and you know, that it is you get what you get, to take the words from Dr. Zeus and Adzi Gordon, who passed that on. Like, you are what you eat, and there's no shortcuts. It's definitely there. So I have in the last week cut back on the chocolates at work, cut back on the sugary drinks or takeaway. I'm just gradually each day there are basically 3 meals, just trying to get all 3 of those as a green tick, like you would a multi. And at the moment it's 2/3. 2 meals are good, 1 meal is a bit ordinary, and moving forward I'd like to get that to all 3 green ticks throughout the day. And that it's a really easy way to process it. It's a bit easier on yourself too. I find that if I have gone cold turkey in the past, and you do get you do play up, or you do eat shit lunch, you tend to have a shit dinner because you've already ruined your day at lunch. So why not ruin it again at night, and then that snowballs to the next day. Whereas a gradual change or swapping things in and out is a much more efficient and I think better way on the head, and more rewarding way for yourself to stick to a process. I find talking to the camera, as easy as it looks, it's kind of hard. So I do have some notes to work off, just to ensure that I am not just dribbling, because I'll dribble for an hour, but I want to actually pass some stuff on. So I took great comfort in when I was at my lowest, and when I wasn't able to run, and basically losing my mum and having long COVID. I lost the person that made me who I am, and I also lost the thing the how I am. Like, I am someone who trains. I am someone that documents my training, and I'm quite vocal with that across my social media accounts. And I lost those 2 things for 2 months, and basically I found great strength. And I think if anybody listening can do the same thing, I had to fall back onto my what and my when. So that meant sitting down with my calendar, my weekly planner, and rolling it out to a month, but working out when, like, what did I have on and when did I have it on, and putting it all on the calendar and laying it out, and then kind of almost reverse engineering that. Okay, well, I've got these commitments on these days, and I've got this commitment in the future, and all these things going on. And then once I had that laid out, I could actually work out what I didn't have to do. It's like, okay, well, you don't need to be there for that, or you know what, you can actually do a variation of that to help your health. And once I had that, like a blueprint down on paper, that really helped me. Then working out your when shows you your what. And it's like, well, okay, well, I'm still a father, I'm still a husband, I'm still an employee, I still work 3 days a week. I have to show up for that. That's money in the bank. I am a member of the community All Sorts ride club, and to be present at those things. And then in identifying those, you kind of give yourself some kind of earnest over who you are and what you're doing and where you're needed. And you can kind of start to fill out, by doing those things, just getting back into the what and the when. It's like, okay, well, this is work, and I'm there this day of the week, and then putting little things in. Okay, well, I know that on Thursday I'll get to go for a ride and have a coffee with the cycling club. That gives me something to look forward to each week, and then as that starts to improve, you can start to add more. So there was a month there that I fell back on my what and when. Now, Bottle.It also shared last year that the momentum of others is a really powerful thing, and I'm mindful not to kind of sandbag or try to take my negative energy and dump it left, right, and center. But there has been some people that I've been able to call on or find some strength in having conversations with them. So I definitely think take stock on your friendship circle, and know who you've got, and know how to use those. Know how to use your friends to better yourself in the same way you'd hope your friends would use you. I have certain friends that, the role of that friend is laughter. I know I can ring that person to have a joke about something lighthearted and not focus too much on the heavy stuff. I've got other friends that love it deep and meaningful, and I know by ringing them, I'm going to get into a deep and meaningful. I can explore some things. I have coaches or mentors. I have a variety of different people that I've been able to lean on to help get me through this. So I I think you can get yourself in a lot of trouble with social situations or social anxiety when you expect too much of people that aren't that kind of person. Like, you wouldn't ring your funny mate and expect of them to be able to unpack the emotional intelligence of an interaction you've had with someone 2 weeks ago. It just wouldn't fit. So I think you can kind of take some accountability in knowing who your friends are, and basically not what to expect of them, but knowing that, you know, I think enabling their strengths to help you to move through and to process things is a really cool tip. I've found great success. One of the first legends I turned to, Clint Rollins, who is my, Ironman mentor. He's helped Bottle.It immensely. He's helped me immensely. He's the first person I've had in my life that he is the reason why I gave up alcohol for 2 months. I just wanted to almost prove a point to him that I could do it. So he was one of the first people I got in touch with, and I was like, hey mate, this is where I'm at, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm thinking, and just basically talked it out with him and got some great feedback. He responded in the most Clint way possible, and I'm stoked to have had that response, and it has kicked things back in. It took a bit longer for me to kick into gear after reading those messages, but yeah, they're definitely resonating now, and I'm using them now. I also reached out to Adzi Gordon, another friend of Bottle.It, knowing that he does work with the high performance supercar team and other athletes. I spoke to him about what's a protocol when returning back to training after long COVID or when you're suffering from it, and he had some amazing advice, which was, you know, how to, you know, retrain your heart. And I'm not going to share it because I don't want to share it because it's not my advice to give. I don't want to paraphrase. I don't want to get it wrong. And I also don't want to give anybody health advice. If you have got long COVID symptoms or something isn't working, please go see your GP and get that sorted. It's not up to some bloke sitting in a studio to tell you how to retrain your heart or how to follow you. Yeah, to do you. That's on you, not me. So yeah, basically I'm at the point now where I'm starting my Ironman journey, and over the next few months I'm going to share some advice and some tips of what's the go is. But basically, as my first episode and starting at rock bottom, like I said, I'm 122 kilos. I was 124 when I shared my post about getting my Bustleton journey back on. I'm 6'4", I'm 37. Like I said, I'm probably about maybe 20 kilos too heavy for Bustleton Ironman at the moment. I'd like to be down around the 105. If not, if things go well, wouldn't mind being south of 100. So hopefully between this episode and the Busso episode, you'll see this change, and I'm excited for that. I'll also be exploring things like buying a bike. I have a road bike at the moment, but I don't have a TT, so I'll be sharing some advice on what I'm doing and what you can do if you're interested in starting your own Ironman journey, or if you're on your Ironman journey. I can kind of explain why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. So like celebrating achievements, I'm celebrating an achievement this week. I've done 2 good sessions and I've had energy afterwards after both of them, so I'm celebrating that this week by doing this. So you don't have to wait for an Ironman finish line to celebrate. You can find a reason to celebrate each week to kind of get that momentum going. Basically, yeah, we're going to be rolling this out. So definitely, I also, as a cheeky little how you going, I will sell out to anybody and anything and any brand. But basically, the long and the short of it is, Aid Station have reached out and have got me on board as an influencer. So in the description for this, for anybody who's watching and interested, there's a 10% discount code that I'll put in the description. This is my first YouTube shout out. But basically, they've got all your supplies, nutrition, hydration, to help you train for a triathlon. So yeah, I'll definitely put that in the description for those that have sat with me for 15 minutes and watched this dribble. But yeah, I'm stoked to have those guys on board. And moving forward, my training block's pretty much the same. I wouldn't usually share a training block, but Lockie Earnshaw shares his training blocks and he's training on his YouTube channel, and he's doing okay. I took great inspo from his YouTube channel to start this one, so cheers Lockie. But basically my week at the moment is I do a run on Tuesday mornings, which is half hour, and that's 3 minutes running, 2 minute cool down, repeat times 8. And basically just working on retraining the heart rate to go up and down again, get the benefits of running, getting great endorphins after running, and I'm feeling better by having the blood pumping around and things moving. So that's on a Tuesday morning. On a Thursday morning, I cycle. It's meant to be an easy 40 minutes, but it's an easy 40 minutes pending the bunch that I'm in. I'm very mindful not to push too far into the red to do any more damage. But yeah, as we move forward, I'll be slowly introducing, I'm still doing A little bit of mobility stuff, not much. A little bit of stretching, but the joint fatigue and the pain in my body is kind of limiting what I can do. But yeah, this next 2 weeks I'll be focusing on cleaning up the diet, introducing some more recovery, and just really focusing on, being patient and being calm, because it's really hard at the moment to think that now things are starting to feel better. I want to jump back in the deep end. I want to start doing, your 6-hour rides on Saturday and doing the Instagram reel version of how an Ironman training block looks. And unfortunately, you need to be accountable for what you're doing. And I know by doing that, I'll just be putting myself back in the horizontal position with a 6-pack of beer and a bag of chips. So the whole process of this is to just 1% each week and just gradually add more and add more. Along the way we've got Noosa Triathlon, which is Olympic, but I'll slowly be introducing more each week to get to a point where come race day, I should be firing. But as we go, I'll be sharing advice from coaches, trainers, brands, anything that I've learnt that hopefully can help others. So the focus is I'm at rock bottom. We start now and we get to Bottle.It and Ironman, but I would love nothing more than questions in the comments, or DM me your questions and to start answering some of the stuff that you want to see. I'm doing this because it's basically something that I think I'd like to see if I was sitting where you guys are sitting. So, but if you guys got any idea for content, if not, it's just going to be me rambling at the camera more. So, thanks for following. Thanks for being a fan of Bottle.It. We'll see you guys next week. I'm going to do these weekly, so there's accountability there.